Holy smokes. Hey, Foodservice Power Plant Network. Welcome to another one of my favorite nights of the week. This week, it's a Thursday where we get to sit with another industry leader, someone who I've been fortunate to know for quite a long time. And we get to pick their brain on their journey, and we get to learn story and ask questions and engage and encourage and all these really, really fun things that we get to do here. Look, thanks for joining us. I got to thank a few people who make this happen. One of whom I got to have lunch with yesterday, Maureen Slocum and the Zumba team. Of course, that's FENS Magazine, RD&D, the amazing crew over there, Maureen and Dave and Nick and Sam and so many wonderful people, Kevin and the whole crew who helped make this possible by believing in spreading this message of positive mindset tools and authenticity and what the two together can really do in people's lives, particularly in our industry amongst people who are working so hard that sometimes it's easy to forget to take care of us. So thank you, Zumba. And of course, Chelsea and the whole team at Craven Company. They are an unbelievable partner. They actually, anything you want to see, any of these conversations that we've done, I think Alyssa's around, 120. They're all on the website. And that's because of Chelsea and the whole crew over there, Eric, who have made that possible. You can go check any conversation out at fspowerplant.com, along with a bunch of resources, just positive mindset tools, additional videos on mindfulness, some mental health resources, our positive mindset mise en place. There's so much there. So know that. Look, tonight is a really awesome guest. Alyssa Auerbach from Strata GPO is joining us. We're going to tell you more of our mutual connection, which is really, really fun. Her journey is really amazing to me as I've watched her grow up in the industry. And I think it's one that's wickedly inspiring of how you can get into the industry kind of anywhere. And if you're willing to grow and learn and believe and work hard, you can one day be a vice president of a really awesome company. So it's just wicked. Listen, look at some guests. Holy smokes, some friends. Hi, Jennifer. It's really good to see you. I love it. Mr. Rigney's in the house. Riggs, you always make us smile every time I get to see you. Janine, love to see a woman here. Boom. We got it. We're bringing it. I love it, Janine. Wendy, I can't think of a better place to be on a Thursday evening than listening for that gold nugget of wisdom from Alyssa. Heck yes. Also excited to hear Alyssa. We can't wait. Listen, let's go find her. Alyssa, hold on here. Where are you? There she is.
I'm running out of oxygen in here, Jason.
Alyssa, you're in a different stratosphere is what you're doing. You need the helmet to keep it going.
I know.
That is wicked. I love that. Really,
Thank
really
you
fun.
for having me. Hello.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's just start with I love what's going on. Your bling in your sparkle makes me so happy. Do you do a lot of sparkles just generally in life? Is that one of your things?
Yeah, I would say it's becoming my personal brand. I have a little bit of social anxiety, and it hasn't always been my go-to because it's just a little out there. But I think I'm learning how to be social and how to put myself out there, and that is needed in this industry in order to connect and network. And the way that I do that is through humor and just being ridiculous. We are not medical surgeons here providing heart surgery, life-saving procedures. Let's have fun. Let's enjoy this.
Oh, I love it. You know what? We need so many more people who are willing to be them in a really fun way that says, oh, wait a minute, that's not what I thought food service was, or I've never seen someone show up with sparkles at an event. And I love that you're bringing in a helmet and sparkles. It's amazing. I love all the purple. It's I love the image, the picture behind you. I don't know what's going on, but it's really fun.
That's got a funny backstory too. If we get to it, I'll tell you.
Okay, I can't wait. Look, thanks for taking time to join us.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh my God. It's going to be great. So you and I kind of have a really fun, long history knowing each other in that and I don't even remember all the details until we were talking earlier, but your mom, Debbie, worked with me when we started our rep firm, Desert Peak, back in 2012. We got to work together. Yeah. And gosh, she was with us for the longest time, supporting us as we grew. I mean, an amazing human, woman, mom, friend, mentor, all of the things that she was to us. And you and I got to work a little bit together because you were working with my partner, Bobby, on our website and all these different things way back when.
I know. I mean, one minute you're young and cool, and the next you're Googling tomato slicers. Like,
look at that transition.
Yeah, I entered the industry, I think, like a lot of people did, unknowingly. And, it all started with the Power Rangers in 1997. No, I'm just kidding. No, you're right. My mom, she was a stay-at-home mom until we grew older, and she wanted to do something for herself, and she took a job for a food service equipment dealership here in Denver. They actually were neighbors of ours, and so Rick Crakel was like, a second grandpa to me. I had a flat tire once, and he came and changed it. So I started there. I would hustle on the side and organize their showroom and their warehouse, help my mom with POs. And then she went over to your rep firm, and there I worked with you guys a little bit on your website. And I guess I never really, it's such an unsuspecting industry. I can't say at either of those times I really fell in love with it, but I wasn't seeing the whole picture, right? So I went to school for brand management. I did a job shadow in Kansas City. I thought I was going to work for Levi's and Sonic and Coca-Cola. But once I got there, I was like, you're just a number, nobody knows who you are. There's thousands of people in this company. It's going to take your whole life to work your way up. There's not a lot of creative freedom. And it was just too fast paced. And I think that's when I started a creative agency as a side hustle, and I got into working with nonprofits. And that's really where I started to find my passion for serving and for helping people using my creative gifts. So I think I've designed a couple websites and logos for people in this industry that they're still using. But I needed an internship to graduate college, and I was working for a dry cleaner at the time, like not super glamorous. But my mom reached out to her buying group, Strata GPO, and said, do you guys have a spot for a 20-year-old, intern? And Guile Walker was like, yeah, she needs to be good at Excel spreadsheets. I spent days putting together Excel spreadsheets, and they never looked at them. But I was hired as a sales and research assistant, and Guile traveled a lot, and I kind of sat there and thinking, there's no customer list, like it's all in Guile's head, so I literally Googled restaurant dealers in Alabama, restaurant dealers in Arizona, restaurant dealers, and I built a thick binder of handwritten. And then after that, I was like, well, guess I'll start digitizing this. So that was our first CRM. And I mean, I've been with Strata GPO for 14 years now. Whew, I don't even look 14 most of the time, 14 years old, but here we are. But I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I've worked in sales. I've worked in marketing. I've worked in events. I've worked in education. And now I oversee 3 of those things. And wow, the company has grown. There was no marketing when I started. None. No education. None. So it's been extremely rewarding.
I mean, look at all this. I love like all these comments about the bling and the sparkle. Like, Alyssa, there's just an energy to what you offer. I mean, certainly, we say all the time, and really these conversations end up being some about what we do well on a professional side and tangibly, but this intangible element to even just your jacket, but how you show up in energy, right?
Yeah.
Some people set the stage for others to rise up in. and
Absolutely.
bring the joy, and they bring the energy, and they're like, okay, I'm going to be the bar setter in this room on how this is all going to feel. I mean, look at all these people. Like, the amount of bling just in comments is pretty awesome. My buddy Mark Howes is in the house. I now get to work with this amazing lady. How stinking awesome is that?
Yeah.
Gail, she's right. Hired her on the spot. When I think about you starting in that role, you just start Googling. I mean, there's an element. And now today, by the way, you're the VP of member services, right? So you've gone from an intern, figuring out what you're doing. How do we build something that doesn't even exist? And today you get a wickedly cool role engaging with lots of your members from Strata GPO and supporting them and their desires and growth needs and all of these amazing ways. And I'm like trying to figure out, I think it's an unbelievable dream story
Yeah.
for anyone that has big vision for their life. It's easy to look at someone like you and say it's easy to forget the journey and the road and where you started. But in part of what I hear is you just took the bull by the horns and you're like, I'm going to create something. Like, I'm going to start Googling, and we need this and that. Like, anything in particular that you witnessed or you feel like that really helped you on this journey to continue to grow into the role you're in now?
Man, that's a hard question. I think, we've been through a lot of adversity through my journey with the company in the 14 years, a lot of different stages of business, a lot of different stages of culture.
Yeah.
And I never gave up. I knew what this company could be. I knew what it was. I knew where it was going. And I just refused to let go of that vision. And when Mike Jewett came on board, I was like, you are never getting rid of me. Like, I am here to stay because I just so strongly believe in our vision and what we're doing for the collective and our community. And we started a young industry leaders program. And part of that is bringing sexy back to the industry. And I know that's not the most like business way to say it, but I can't think of any other way to say it. Like, if you want to get me passionate talking about something, I mean, I have seen for years the, generational thing that's happening in our industry. We've got a lot of our mentors, owners retiring out, and we need youngins, fresh blood coming in, the mentees. And we aren't attracting talent like we used to. And we need to start attracting that talent. And I think it was Dirk Beveridge talks really well about this. I saw him a couple of years ago at a FIDA conference. Yeah. But yeah, we have to show this side, this energy, this sparkle to this new generation to get them in here and get them working alongside us.
There's so many, I don't know that there's so many, but there's a few of you out there like raising this banner and singing this tune of youth and energy and passion. I think I haven't seen it yet because I don't think they're published, but at the Fed conference a couple of weeks ago, our friend Steve Spittle, I think that on stage, and I think that was his message, was about bringing in youth and new ideas and energy and passion. And so, holy smokes, I love it. Alyssa knows how to build value with everything she does. I don't doubt that for a second. Jennifer, so much passion, girl. Bring sexy back. Heck yes. Fist bump. I love it. There's, we say at our company all the time, and this is what you exude, and I think your team exudes, that we want to make, there's a lot of tangible things we do and solutions we offer, but at the end of the day, we want to make people feel a certain way about their establishment and the products they have in it, about the experience they've had working together, about the belief that hopefully we instill in them of what's possible. And you just, you ooze it, Alyssa. It's amazing. It's awesome. It's hard not to probably be in a room with you and not feel like, oh, we can conquer the world right now.
I know. Imagine, 5, 6, 7 of us together in a room. It's nuts.
God bless it. Turning it up to 11. I would guess those meetings are really fun. Alyssa has so much passion for all our members creating something innovative,
Oh,
meaningful, and fun. Vanessa, how cool. We're glad you're here. Okay, so one of the big processes and fun elements to who you all are and this energy and this creativity that you bring is the rebrand recently. You recently rebranded to Strata GPO, which is amazing. Purple is everywhere. There's like cannon shooting purple out of it when you walk into your office. I love it. And that was a really fun thing that you got to be a part of on this creative side. And
yeah.
in talking to friends and industry and just to know what I know of you, that's kind of one of your superpowers, I believe. So can you tell me about what like fosters that creativity in you and that creative process from sort of concept to what Strata GPO has become from a branding perspective?
Oh, absolutely. So it was really quite magical the way that it came about.
Yeah.
It it's so you're gonna think I'm an absolute nut job when I tell you this story. Um, so we were about positive disruption, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what is positive disruption? It's the ability to identify and shape the future and do it in a way that disrupts the market, right? We felt like buying groups in the industry were a little stagnant, and just in general, I mean, our industry has always been behind in technology. It's always a little behind, other industries. So positive disruption, positive change. And we felt the rebrand was the way to kind of kick that off. It was probably a shock to everybody when we glitter bombed everybody with purple. But this story is so funny. So we started talking about the rebrand years and years and years ago. And this was the first time I got to use my degree in brand management.
Oh,
So,
nice.
right? So it came around and I wasn't rusty. So I had gone through, I had, 3 potential new company names, which no pressure. That's such a big deal. And Mike Jewett was our new CEO. And pretty early on, he was like, let's do it. What are we waiting for? And I was like, all right, here is the list of names that I've come up with. There was like 3. Here's, the one that I like. And he was like, no, I don't like any of those. So then I showed him the thousands of names. We ended up doing due diligence and hiring, a brand agency to kind of help give us ideas, walk us along that path, market research. They had come up with thousands of names. Nothing stood out to the team or to Mike. So I took a risk and I opened my spreadsheet of my original names that I had come up with, didn't show many people. And Mike was like, that's it, right there. Strategy PO. Boom.
Huh.
And so for me, it was
Wow.
like, having a leader like Mike to really empower me and trust me
Mm.
to make a decision like that and then back me up. I mean, it was just incredible. But then we needed aesthetics, right? So to digress, I will tell you, my entire life, Jason, I hated the color purple. I
Did you have a bad Barney experience as a
Oh
kid or
my
something?
God, how did you know?
Are you serious right now?
Yes. So
Oh.
4th grade, somebody asked me what my favorite color was, and I remember looking up at the color chart at the top of the room, and I was like, purple. And all of the kids in the class started making fun of me. Colors is the color of or purple's the color of Barney, So from that day, purple was dead to me. Like I did not like purple. Also, side note, I had a weird obsession with triangles, and I have triangles tattooed on my wrist. Okay, so back to the present. I'm reading a book to Stella. She's 4 now, but she was like 2 back then, right? Okay, I brought the book with me. The World Needs More Purple People. It's a great book by Kristen Bell. Okay, so I'm reading this book to her, and I'm only going to read you 1 page.
Okay.
But page right here, it says purple is a magic color made when red and blue work together. I think all the best things in the world are purple. And that was my aha moment, because Excel's branding was red, Nisco's branding was blue, and color theory, when you combine those two colors, it makes purple.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I love it.
So that's how purple came to be. And then, we went on to design our logo. It's a fun, I don't know if you can see that, but it's an S, but it's also got, layers to it. And there's these little triangles in here. And this is something that members are about to learn in our next phase of rebranding. But at our conference, Mike, he kept talking to members about the three-legged stool. Three-legged stool. I don't know if you've heard that metaphor, but it's about, a three-legged stool adds stability, and if one leg is shorter, the stool wobbles, right? So it's about the dealers, the vendors, and the buying group all working together, stably, right? So I'm sitting there thinking during this conference, I cannot look at another stock picture of a stool on my big, beautiful PowerPoint screen at conference. How can we modernize this? And then it dawned on me, the triangle. I love the triangle because it reminds us of the importance of our past, our present, and our future. And it urges us to learn from our mistakes and then use that wisdom to shape our future, right? And the triangle, it's still three sides: dealer, vendor, buying group, working in tandem. So I think that's all a little bit woo-woo, my creative process, but it works. It hasn't let me down. And I think it's just about paying attention to the universe, taking inspiration from everything around you, and being present. The answers are there.
I'll take woo-woo all day long, because there are some things that you can't define, you can't totally teach. And, when certainly a lot of the things that I've been learning in life, when you're able to be present, when I'm not caught up in the past and the future and my mind's spinning and all these things that can clutter what's going on up here. And I make some space for all of that by just being right now, then there's space for things to be welcomed, for things to come in, to learn, so many things in life. Mic drop. Jennifer's like, boom, done.
I always say, have you ever felt alone in a crowded room? And I think that's my mantra in life, is to always make people feel like they are included, they are welcome, they are loved, cherished. Look, I grew up being the new kid. My dad and his job, we moved every couple years, all over the place. I think I went to 2 middle schools, 2 high schools. I was always the new kid. And one, I think that's why I'm never leaving Strata GPO. I mean, they're freaking amazing. We live our vision and our values every single day, and we have a damn good time doing it. But two, I can't say it. You should never be alone.
There's a phrase that I love. Oh, and I might not be able to remember right now, but and this might not be completely true. By the way, I have a feeling everyone at Strata GPO is just cheering right now that we're leaving. And while I get there, this is our friend Devin. Alyssa's ability to take an idea and make it reality is inspiring. Her creativity is endless, and she always keeps everyone in mind. She wants all of us to thrive and have fun doing it. I feel that proud to work alongside her. Heck yes. There's this phrase that I didn't make it up. I heard it somewhere. And it says, oftentimes our greatest contribution, or perhaps the place, our purpose, is born from the place of pain, of some of our greatest pain. And so I love that. I mean, that can be hard, moving, and kind of having to rebuild. And there's skills that you can learn in that, right? And you can go one of two ways, right? We always have a choice in our circumstances. We're going to find a way to turn them into a strength and something positive, or we're going to say it's the thing that turns us into a victim. But you found a way to take that thing where maybe you felt alone in a lot of crowded rooms along the way. And you said, oh, heck no, I'm not. I'm going to make sure that no one feels that what I experienced. And now it's a place of purpose, a place of energy for you. And in addition to what you do for your organization, it's a side gift that you get to kind of amidst anything you're doing along the way. And that's pretty rad, Alyssa. I love it.
Well said. Well said.
Okay, let's talk. We got more questions, but this is beautiful. Okay. Recently, you were chosen by our friends at Total Foodservice as one of the top 25 women in food service. Boom! Way to go, my friend. Talk about, as a recipient of that award, and I'm sure all of that is humbling and so many wonderful things. What does it mean for you to embrace that award? And as you speak to other young women in the industry, what's the advice that you offer? And they come to you and say, Alyssa, how'd you do it? What is it? Like, what is it that you offer and encourage them in?
My imposter syndrome has a tough time with this one, but obviously incredibly humbled and honored. And I mean, the women that are alongside me in winning that accolade are just so inspiring. I had to do a lot of reflection on this one because I don't think I have a secret sauce. It's just doing what I do, right? I think my passion for food service has always been driven by the future and what it could be. And I think this recognition reaffirmed that I was doing the right thing. I was innovating. I was leading transformative change. I was a leader. And let's be clear, leadership is a privilege, not a right. My advice for other women and anybody in general, take risks. Challenge conventional thinking. I can't tell you how many times I've told my team, we're blowing this up. I know we just got it figured out and it was smooth and it was well oiled, but we're blowing it up. Or why are we doing it that way when we can, think of a whole totally new way to do it, whether it's using technology or tools or push boundaries, have unparalleled conviction. And honestly, Jason, what I've learned most recently is be you, be authentically you, because that's what people want.
Yeah. Okay. High 10 for that. Boom. Here's my question.
Yeah.
How, I'm not going to say, I'm trying to word it the right way.
No, just say it. Who cares?
It's not, sometimes it's hard to know what authentically you looks like. Not you, Alyssa, but authentically me, Jason, authentically whoever, right? And to know how to bring that into a world that looks and feels a certain way, that has done things a certain way for a long time. In my role now, Kamil, I don't wear brown loafers anymore, but I did for 15 years because that's what like everyone did. And there's this casual element to what our team offers and says, hey, go be you. Like, we're fun. We're Southern California. Like, you don't have to have a blazer on all the time, and you don't have to have a button up, like a sport coat. And you don't have to have a tie. You don't have to have blue, brown loafers. Like, go be you. That's just on a dress code thing. But even FSPN, when this started, it was more about the human and the heart and the person and the struggle and the vulnerability. And forever, I think that was something I hid because it was like, that doesn't belong here. It will be shooed out because it doesn't fit. So maybe it's a multiple part question, but when you started in the industry, were you glittered up like that?
No,
What was that journey for you to realize, wait a minute, this is really who I am when I'm most myself, number one. And then number two, and once I kind of start leaning into that and I know this thing about me, whether it's dress or whether it's my energy or whether it's my passion or blowing things up, all of these things. Then what was it like when you felt like you had the courage to bring that and say, yo, Strata team, this is me, and we're going to start doing it this way?
I think you would be very surprised to learn that it was within the past 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a recovering people pleaser. I'll put it that way.
Mm.
I completely built myself around other people's expectations, and I became an expert at analyzing situations and trying to figure out the person that everybody wanted me to be in order to like me, right? And so there were many different versions of me, and it was exhausting, and it blew up in my face. And it was actually at work. I had about a dozen people who deeply cared about me sitting around a table. It was like an intervention, and they were confused and they were frustrated with the many versions of myself that I was presenting. And it obviously this took a lot of reflecting to get to this point, but I came off as ingenuine, unapproachable, and character is when I get most passionate. Nobody has the right to tell you who you are, but what I learned from that was sometimes perceptions can become people's realities.
Mm-hmm.
And what I can control is how I act and how I portray myself to the world, right? So after a lot of reflection, um, I I read this book, and You're Gonna Die. I have the book over here, but the page that was like the catalyst for me in that situation, it has a triangle at the top of the page. I know, it was crazy. Oh my gosh, I got goosebumps. But this is what the page said. I wrote it down over here, so I'm going to read it. You are not for everyone, and that's okay. The world is full of people who, no matter what you do, will point blank not like you. But it is also filled with people who will love you fiercely. You are not for everyone, and that's okay. Talk to the people who can hear you. Don't waste your precious time and gifts trying to convince them of your value, that they won't ever want what you're selling. And you are not for them, and they are not for you. Wave them on and continue along your journey. Share your path with someone as if it's a sacred gift, and don't cheapen your gift by facing yours in the wrong direction. Keep facing your true north. So that to me was just like, it was my epiphany in life. Even though it happened at work, it was like in life. Like, this is big stuff. So the lesson I took from that was be authentically you. And actually, in my mid-year review this year, that was the one thing that I wanted to work on, was to drop this professional facade, that you're putting on. You're trying to be prim and proper in the corner, and it comes off as you're unapproachable. And just be you. And obviously there's boundaries there, right? Because if I was really me, I would be dropping F-bombs and I would be doing cartwheels, right? So there's boundaries. But just be you. And Jason, I cannot tell you how many people at our past conference said, you're different, or I've never seen this side of you, or yeah, just own it. Own it. Be you. Be you. And how freaking amazing that I had a group of people I work with that brought that to me. I mean, that just blows me away. They could have walked away. I could have walked away. We could have let it get in the way, but it changed my life. And this team, I would take a bullet for. I mean, they are my ride and dies every day in and day out. So, yeah, it's crazy. I'm so grateful.
Alyssa, you're turning on the waterworks, buddy. That is, I'm just going to read comments. Wendy, your fan base wants more.
Oh.
That's a great quote. Yeah. What's the title of the book, Alyssa? Come on.
It's called why am I blanking? Light is the New Black by Rebecca Campbell.
Light is the New Black by Rebecca Campbell. Beautiful. Michael, watching Alyssa go through this transformation. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to keep it together. And be her has been amazing, incredible for our dealer community. Hashtag team Alyssa. Wow. Jamie. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, yes, yes. Much love. Jennifer, you said that last week. An amazing team. It's felt. Wendy, Grantham Light is New Black. Beautiful. You know what? Kudos to, it's hard to share with someone some of those challenges, something like that. But for your team to believe that there's more and there's some greater level of authenticity in you, and encourage that to open in you or to come out of you. Really, really beautiful, to your point. So well done, Mike, or whoever was in that room of 12. And for you, I have to imagine, I think about this. Look at this right here. Your transformation into a new level of authenticity has been, for you, something that has to be taking a load off, right? Like you've been wearing some masks, and it's like taking some masks off and saying, this is who I am. You feel lighter, all this, you get to just be you. You're not carrying the, wasting the energy of carrying that burden of all those people or things. There you go. Exactly. Right. Like, how many masks do we all wear? Mike and I talk about this. And so you took off the mask, you unleashed a whole new level of energy for you to feel a little bit more alive, because you're just walking in your real shoes. And then look at this. It's been amazing and incredible for your dealer community, for the people all around you. Not only do you feel the difference in that, but in you being you, it's everyone else feels it. And you're offering something to them to be, number one, more authentic versions of them, because everyone who does it, everyone who says, I'm going to come out and just be the real me, you're going to get who I am, my energy, my passion, my ferocity, my gifts, my love, my all of these things. It opens, it's permission. You're giving someone else permission to do the exact same thing. Alyssa shines. We can see her light. I freaking love it. And I can't wait to get that book. And
Devin's comment is spot on. It's the whole book is about light work and sharing your light with others, and facing your true north. It changed my life, and it's a short read. I remember where I was when I read it. I was on the way to conference on a plane, and man, just hit me in the face like a ton of bricks. It's crazy.
Those moments are pretty special. And
so
I'm glad you leaned in. Okay. Favorite quote?
That was my favorite quote.
Oh, beautiful. Love it, love it, love it.
For everyone, and that is okay.
Yeah, say that last part again.
You are not for everyone, and that is okay.
It's something that line right there, that's not an easy one. I'm trying to think if I'm a recovering people pleaser. Maybe I'm just still in therapy. the people please, whatever that process is like.
A lot of practice.
Yeah,
A
there's
lot.
probably a muscle you build to make decisions and realize you might have made a decision before, prior to fit in, to belong, to make others happy or accept you in. And then it's almost like you need to be aware the words you're going to say or the way you're going to engage or whatever that is, and be like, you know what? That's how I used to do it. But now, what does real look like? What does genuine look like in bringing me?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely comes with conflict. I don't deal with conflict well, or I didn't. And, that's why this leadership team that Mike has built over the last few years is so special. It's because we are all so different, so different. And it took us some time to figure out where you fit in the puzzle, right? But once all the puzzle pieces were together, we realized we all bring something different to the table, and we play on each other's strengths. So if you want a whole room to cry, you're talking to the girl for the job. But if you're looking for someone to go negotiate programs, like, I am not it, because I will cry. But you're right. It's a muscle you have to train. I mean, I have said, I'm going to go into this meeting mad and I'm going to lay down the law. And then I get into the meeting and I put on a smile and I'm like, hi, everything's great. And that's not what they want to see. Like Mike always says, if everybody's agreeing, that's a problem. If everyone is disagreeing, that's a problem. And that's just why we've, I think, propelled in the industry and we're positively disrupting right now, is because we sit and we do so much strategy. It is insane, but it is so fun, so innovative, so inspiring, so transformative. It works. It's too good to be true, but it's not. It's true. It's the real deal. We're doing it.
Putting the right butts in the right seats equals success.
Let's go.
Let's go. I love that little Michael, good thing we got Devin for program.
Yeah,
Boom, there she goes. You go, Devin.
I'll cry.
I love that. Here's another question for you, and it's I have another friend in the industry learning how to navigate. In your world, you're a professional.
Yeah.
You're crushing. Mm-hmm. You're a partner. You're a spouse.
Mm-hmm.
You're a mom.
Yeah.
I
have 10,000 cats.
What's that?
I have 10,000 cats.
I had a cat jump on someone's back of someone's chair today in a meeting. It was awesome. Let's go. I love it. How, navigating those roles isn't easy, all of those. And I've got friends right now figuring out, I'm trying to how do I do this well? And can it be done well? And how do I feel good about all the things I'm doing? Because there's so many different needs and people who want Mama and Alyssa at Strata and all of these things.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, any ideas or thoughts on things that you've learned along the way that help you navigate those roles the best you can?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I actually, maybe 2-3 years ago, started writing a book, and it was about that, how to manage, because I mean, women in the workforce is, we're, to that glass ceiling. It's fairly new. But I started writing this book. I only got about a page in.
Okay.
But it was a really good page.
So I love it.
So it was titled Duck because no autocorrect. There is never an instance where I meant to use the word duck. Okay. You capture my drift?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Can I read you an excerpt? Not
Yes.
going to do the whole page. Okay. The relentless pursuit of excelling as tooth fairy, Santa, chauffeur, butt wiper, planner, boo-boo kisser, goddess, treasure hunter, midnight oil burner, and respectable career woman is quite the adventure. So when I told my family I was writing a book, my sister said, I can't believe you have time for that. You have 2 kids, a husband, 39,000 cats, a career, yada, yada, yada. But I couldn't help but chuckle at the potential of such a book, and actually shiggle is my term for the delightful blend of a half shart and a half giggle. And after all, birthing two children, I hold myself to the impossible standard of working as if I don't have kids while raising my kids as if I don't work. So grab a bottle of wine, tequila, or hell, even a hamburger, and let's get real. Let's create, let's stay woke, and let's claw our way to the top, but with glittery manicures, driven by passion and a touch of reckless abandon. And then I had a quote by Nikita Gill here. Some days I am more wolf than woman, and I'm still learning how to stop apologizing for my wild.
Wow, Alyssa. Maybe I could be, maybe there's others who have, but if ever you want to get back into the writing world, that was really, really beautiful.
Writing
Yeah.
was actually my first passion. I watched the movie 13 Going on 30, and she's a fashion editor for a magazine, and that's how I knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. So that's how I kind of entered my passion was writing.
Wow.
But yeah, I had so much to say. So I think back to the question, it's about the blend of work and life, not balance, work-life blend. And I think that's a newer way to think about things. I think especially now that a lot of us are remote or we have that hybrid work model, we have the greater fluidity and flexibility with our schedules. And I am so grateful to work for a company that respects me as a mother and respects me as a wife. And I don't even have to say anything. If something comes up, whether it's my kid's in the principal's office because she told someone she was stupid, she's 4, or someone's hurt or whatever, it's like drop everything and go. Like we got you. I have an amazing team. They got my back. Like they can pick up where I left off. And work-life blend, like what does that look like? Well, last night I was typing emails on the countertop at 7:30 p.m. As Stella was putting chicken nuggets in her mouth, I'm like, okay, go back and type really quick all these things, and then she wants to move while she's eating, right? So then she's like ready to run around. So I go from typing an email to dragging her across the hallway, acting like a horse and galloping and neigh, and pulling her on a blanket down the hall, and she is just having the time of her life, like wahoo. And it's about those connections are about quality over quantity, right? That little moment that I had with her in between typing emails at 7:30, it meant the world to her. It was a core memory. Like we connected, right? But for all of the other moms out there, it's not easy. But what I have learned is give yourself grace. Let things go. Good enough is good enough, right? If I don't get to the dishes at the end of the night because I want to spend time with my kids, then the dishes can wait. I mean, I heard a quote one time, at some point you will pick up your child for the very last time. And that kills me. I am the type of person that literally counts down every day I have left with my kids until they turn 18. And I'm like, you're staying home forever with mom. And, Paul's like, no, they're not. Get out of here, But that's all leadership too. I mean, all of these, I've had a lot of great conversations with people over the years about how being a good parent, I think Jason, you and I had this conversation. Being a good parent is like being a leader, right? Mm-hmm. Why would you go to work and put all of your effort into your colleagues and, making them better at small talk and helping them manage stress and helping them meet their career goals? Why wouldn't you go home and do the same for your kids? I'm teaching, I always tell everyone, Vera, she's 11. She's my fragile flower. And Stella, my 4-year-old, she's a fragile bomb. They are very, very different. And that's like leadership, right? It's recognizing the difference and where each of them can grow. And so with Stella, we work on impulses and not doing karate around the house. And with Vera, it's, helping her write her student council speech and helping her stick up for herself and feel empowered. It's hard. It's a lot of things, but that's how I found success. And shit, if it ain't that, it's my high functioning anxiety and coffee.
Alyssa, like really, really just, I don't know. Thanks for being so you. Those
Thanks
are really
for creating a safe space for me to be me.
Oh gosh, I love it. You just offered a lot of women a really beautiful gift. Who wonder how, and who's doing it well or doing it at all, or figuring it out, or am I alone in feeling this way? And thanks for offering all of that.
I'll tell you what the catalyst was, because if I can save someone from going through this, it's worth it. And I'll try and do it without crying, because I can never tell the story without crying. Gosh, it was probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. I don't know. Vera was 3 or 4. And it was the night before conference. And I was a one-woman show at that point. And I was working excessive hours. I was on my phone. I was on my computer. We were at dinner. I remember what table, what seat, what restaurant. I remember everything so vivid. And I was so short-tempered with my daughter and my husband. And all they wanted from me at dinner was just a moment of connection from me. But I was so enveloped with work. And I got home and I could not get to my office quicker. And so I handed Vera a stack of mail, thinking that'll keep her busy. She can open it. She can play with it. And I mean, it wasn't even a couple minutes later, and I just heard the most god-awful shriek out of that child. And I ran out there, and she was blue, and she was purple, and she was pointing to her throat, and she was choking, and I didn't know what she was choking on. So I started the Heimlich, and funny, not funny, but I remember looking at like the cracks in my hardwood floor thinking, how am I going to get puke out of these cracks? But I will never forget the sound and the sight of the clink, 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 as a nickel shot out of her throat. So one of those pieces of mail was one of those charity mailers that have the nickel in the window to entice you to open it. And she had opened it and she had choked on that nickel. I mean, TLDR, too long didn't read. She's fine. We took her to the doctor. She's healthy. She's thriving. I've lived through, the guilt and worked through that. We're working through that together. She still has some phobias of choking. But that moment was pivotal for me. I mean, it took me a long time because the what ifs will haunt you, especially if the outcome had been less fortunate. But what I learned from that was whenever you encounter a situation, whether it's personal or work, you have to shift your mindset, and you have to stop and reflect, and you ask yourself, what is the worst thing that could happen to me? For me, it was losing a child. And I almost lost a child that day. Now, rank that against the current situation 1 to 10. And I bet you it will never even come close to a 1. Right. So that has gotten me through a lot of tough situations.
Wow, Alyssa. Thanks for sharing. It's interesting how sometimes we need those moments in our lives to wake us up or to shake us or remind us, holy smokes.
Universe smacked me in the face real hard that day.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Well, I'm glad you heard her, and I'm glad she's doing well. And kudos to you both for working through it, that trauma, that moment in time. And this has really, really been a gift. And I'm going to do like a little, I don't know, I've got some ideas. Before we end, we're going to leave it at that question because it was beautiful and offers so much to so many people. This whole conversation. In fact, there's our friend Jamie. Some hearts. I got to see Jamie this week. So I didn't really at the end of these conversations, one of my no kidding. Thank you for sharing, Alyssa. Women or men, we're all working on work-life blend. Thanks for bringing your story to us, Alyssa. You speak for many and will help many by sharing. Holy smokes, yes.
That's the dream.
Yeah, there's no doubt people who are going to walk away from watching your story and you being willing to bring your authentic self, and will have the freedom to lean in more in their own lives, whether it's in creating presence, whether it's in being more present with people in their world, whether it's wearing some sparkle, whatever those things are. My favorite thing about these is telling you how important you are to so many in your world. We do something at the end of these conversations called encouraging words. And so I'm going to read to you. I'm already crying and I haven't even started yet, but I'm going to read to you some of what your industry friends and colleagues, the impact you've already made, the impact you're making tonight will be profound, no doubt. But when you and I talked, I said, listen, you don't have to come. Everyone gets nervous for these. And I said, all you got to do is come and be you, because the story, the impact, it's already written. It's already there. That's why you're here. You're right. So, okay, I'm going to read some from some of your friends. Here's, by the way, goodness gracious. So good to see you, Alyssa. Keep up the great work. Hey, Anthony. Janie, going to Google Blenders. You're the best. Great. Yeah. Google Blenders. Love it. Justin Lacrosse. This is your buddy, Justin. Aww. Having worked with Alyssa for only the last 18 months or so, although it feels like many years, I've come to respect her for so many reasons. She is talented beyond her education. She is mature beyond her years, and extreme dedication to her team and our organization. Alyssa, you are incredibly funny. You are down to earth, and you are humble. So humble that you hate compliments directed at you. And I simply love the way your body language change when compliments flow to you. This is why I put Justin first, because I didn't know this about you. And I was like, let's just get it out of the way. But more than the discomfort that compliments bring you, it's with incredible fondness that I watch you adore your team and champion their cause, which ultimately benefits our dealers, our vendors, as well as Strata GPO as a whole. You are a rock star. And I hope Jason is reading this. As he is, you're comfortable. You should be. You've earned every compliment, and I'm glad to see you recognized in any capacity.
Thank you, Justin.
That's cool.
I'm still funnier than he is, though. For the record.
This is the guy that hired you, Guile Walker.
Oh, Guile.
I can honestly say that the single most successful decision I made during my tenure with Strata GPO was to hire Alyssa some 15 years ago. I've watched her carefully grow from a college intern to a successful business executive. I've had the privilege of traveling to different parts of the world with her and her husband, Paul, and have always found it a joy to socialize and spend time with them. I'm so proud of who she is personally, as a wife, and as a mother, and equally so who she has become professionally. I believe she has the world at her feet, and yet will become more than I can ever imagine.
Wow.
Guile. Bringing it. Look at your team. Look how much
I love
they care about you. Now, I've got two more. This person is on your team in a different capacity.
Okay.
This is your hubby.
Oh.
Paul. I know.
Oh, I kicked him out of the house. I can hear them outside playing basketball, and it's so dark.
It's dark. Holy smokes, they can come back in. Alyssa is the most incredible human being I've ever known. She always puts her people and her team first and will never compromise when it comes to doing the right thing. I've witnessed her grow exponentially throughout her career, starting as an intern, developing into a leader for others, and then follow in her footsteps. As a wife and a mother and a career-driven woman, everything appears to come naturally for her. Alyssa has a talent for making any situation she's in appear to be in her element. Her commitment and her attention to detail in all aspects of life is an amazing thing to witness firsthand. I feel lucky to be able to call her my wife and the mother to my children.
Oh, man, I'm so lucky. One thing about him is he's known since day one that my dreams were to be a woman in this industry, and help others break through that glass ceiling. And he has given so much to get me there. We travel a lot, I work a lot, but he has been so supportive. And I really just think he wants to be a stay-at-home dad. But financially, let's not put that idea in anybody's head.
Well, I'm not going to show him the interview. So
he has just been incredibly, incredibly supportive, and I'm so lucky.
I love it. I love what you two are building and who you are. Lastly, this is our mutual friend, Mike Jewett. I know.
Oh, I just thank you, universe, for bringing him into my life.
Yeah. When I first met Alyssa, it was July 2022. I was in the Strata office in Denver for my final round of interviews. While I know the importance of a prospective employer interviewing me, I know it's equally important that I interview my prospective employer. Well done, Mike. As part of my due diligence, I asked to meet with some of the people on the team. I was able to meet several, Alyssa being one of them. I was immediately impressed with how she carried herself, her presence, her confidence, how well she spoke, and her thoughtful, articulate communication. I immediately thought to myself, I can work with this person. As I got to know her, I became increasingly impressed with her creativity, her thoroughness, and her leadership. And while she's good at nearly everything, her superpower is taking a bar napkin idea and turning it into a masterpiece. One of the earliest blow my mind memories was a Zoom call just a couple of months in. I lost my sight. Okay, we go. I was going on and on about something, and others were chiming in. As I watched the live video of others on the call, I noticed Alyssa seemingly multitasking and unengaged. Before I could say anything, Alyssa says, "Can I share my screen?" I was blown away by what I saw. I thought she was off in the weeds somewhere, but what I learned was she was listening intently, capturing everything that was being said, and managed to package a brainstorming session into a meaningful piece of material. This is Alyssa Auerbach. The Strata and Valor branding is her indelible mark on the organization. Alyssa, thank you for all you do for our company. I know how much we've accomplished in the past 2.5 years, 2+ years, and I cannot even imagine how much more we're going to accomplish moving forward. You and the team have a good enough is never good enough mentality, and it shows. Clearly, the best is yet to come.
That it is.
Mike, boom.
Boom.
By the way, if you haven't seen it, Mike is on the website because Mike was a previous guest on the show and crushed it, and was awesome bringing all of him. Listen, here's what I love about this. You brought the sparkle, right? The energy, that passion. And sometimes there are people who might put on like a persona of sparkle, and that's what they do in everything. But what you did is you brought your sparkle and your shine and your energy and your passion. And you also offered it with this yin and yang of it's not everything in the world is great, right? Sometimes that's how people try to pull that off. And they're like, everything's just always rosy. It's always great. It's always great. There's this false belief of what positivity is, right? Like it's always great. It's not always great. And what I love about you stepping into this authenticity is that every bit of that is who you are. And you're also willing to say, and it's hard sometimes, and it's grind, and I'm figuring it out, and I'm learning and navigating these worlds and all these different roles in my life is not always easy. And yet I'm also gonna, whenever I can, as much as I can, and sometimes it's a little bit of sparkle, and sometimes it's a lot of it. And I think that's authenticity has kind of been our word of the night, and I think you brought all of that. And I really, really want to thank you for coming and being all of you and offering it to this entire community.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. That was well done. That was super well done. Alyssa, thanks for joining us. Everyone, Power Plant Network, thanks for being a part of this conversation. Thanks for taking time to listen to her journey and her story. I have a feeling it offered something pretty incredible in your world. I should bring up a few of these comments real quick. But I would say I'm offering it up for Alyssa, but I'm pretty sure that for anyone who watched tonight, and just know that you could always reach out to me or Alyssa. That whatever, we say all the time, we're all going through something, right? We're all figuring ourselves out in a new capacity, figuring out who am I really and how do I bring this forward? And it might be uncomfortable, but whatever you're going through, sometimes it's a really tough time in life. And, you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but the light always comes if you keep moving, if you keep riding that bike.
When you're uncomfortable is when you grow.
Oh my gosh. Heck yeah. And, I think about surrounding yourself with people, like if you're willing to surround yourself with people that are willing to sit you down in a room and say, listen, there's more.
Yeah.
And there's
people that challenge you and they see your blind spots.
Yeah.
Right. Never stop learning. Never stop telling me why I suck, because that is how I am going to do better. Suck less, do better. I say that all the time.
Suck less, do better. It works. It works.
It works.
Michael Wharton, the glass is broken, Alyssa.
Oh,
Love it.
he's the best. He's actually my co-chair on the Young Industry Leader
Oh, nice.
committee. Yeah, and Jamie and Chad and Allie. It's a really, really inspiring group of people. I mean, I know that the industry is in good hands because the future is bright.
Boom. I love it. You're so on point with this stuff. You are so
Well, I like to use props.
This is our buddy Evan. Alyssa was one of my first friends and colleagues in the industry. Great to see her career growth.
He's my FSP, my food service bestie. I got a couple of those.
I love it. Evan, you're the man. Anthony, Alyssa got me started in the industry in 2017 and made me feel at home. She was a huge part of an amazing team. I knew she'd be a leader, and I love hearing all these nice words. Not surprised one bit. Anthony, I'm really glad you could join us, brother. Our buddy Jennifer. Thanks, Alyssa. Jason. Awesome. It was awesome. Wasn't tonight freaking awesome? I agree. Mark House. Boom. Thank you, buddy.
Shakalaka Mark.
Mark your force, bud. Wendy, I started my day with a brave, beautiful, and kind woman, and I've just ended my day with another. Oh,
said by a brave, beautiful, kind woman.
Heck yeah. This is why I love this industry, Mark said.
There's confetti.
There's confetti. What better way to end the night?
It's because you connect. It's the connection, right? It gets you in the feels. When I leave a conference, like I cry because I miss these people. The energy is just, it's addicting. It's undescribable. This is why we do what we do.
I think about Bolt, by the way. Thank you for the heartfelt conversation. You both rock. Bolt, love you, buddy. You're amazing. You know, I remember back in the day when Power Plant started and I asked the community a question, and it was, how would you define hospitality? And it was our buddy Rob Connolly of Henny Penny, CEO of Henny Penny, who I just love that man.
Yeah.
He said, at the end of the day, I think it's taking care of others.
Yeah.
And we do it in so many forms and fashions, right? In terms of what we do tangibly in the industry and supporting people. But the other thing that our industry allows us to do is have conversations like this, where we take care of each other in a different capacity, in a way that is another element of some level of wholeness in terms of who we are as people. We aren't just career professionals. We're lots of things, and we get to support each other both in our careers, but also as people along the way, because we make these friends. And I don't know, we're lucky. This is great. I could keep going. Listen, Power Plant Network, you're amazing. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for making this such a special night along with Alyssa. Take what you've heard. I don't know, maybe incorporate it in some capacity into your world. Again, you can reach out to Alyssa or I, and we'll see you again soon. We're going to do another one of these. Wishing you the absolute best. Don't forget, you're stronger than you realize. Yeah. And we are certainly in this together. That's the mission. So have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday night, everybody. And we got family coming in. I'm not ending it. Oh,
that's why we do what we do. Huh?
Oh, I love it. Look at your crew. Hi, you guys. Hey, how was the basketball? Did you have fun playing basketball?
Did you have fun? Stella.
I love it. I love it.
My fragile bomb, and then my fragile flower is.
When we're playing basketball,
is shy.
I catch the with my glove and I got it.
She got it. Amazing.
Thank
what
you
a way to
so
end the
much,
night.
everybody.
This is awesome. Everybody, have a great night. We'll see you soon.
Oh.